Want to thank our crowd. It's a 9 o'clock tip, no students in town, and we had a great home court advantage. Again, Flames Nation continues to support us in a way that is really special. I mean that from my heart. We love representing this university and having a crowd that gets up and cheers for our guys, even in moments of doubt. That's tremendous. So thankful for that. I have a ton of respect for Villanova and their program. So I think it's a win that we'll value a ton. Villanova has a winning DNA, and having been to 3 Final Fours in the last 7 years, there's a lot of guys that have, touched a lot of success, and you could tell they were never going to give up. They were never going to allow themselves to get too far behind because they've got a ton of character and a ton of toughness. So does our team, and really proud of our group. Thought we did enough to win the game.
Coach, after the way the game went last week at Kennesaw, Darius going 0 for 11, which we all know that's very uncommon for him from 3. How excited are you for him, to be able to, have another chance and to, be able to, see the ball go through and get another win before his career's done here at Liberty?
Yeah, I was waiting for the ball to go through in Atlanta too, because I've seen it for 5 years. So it's such an aberration for Darius to not make a 3-point field goal, and we know better. Like, we see him every day. But happy for him, happy for all he gets because of the humility and the sacrifice that he's deposited into our family. He's a special young man. And I think he's one of the best guards in the country. Like, I mean that sincerely. It's why I've said for years now, if you haven't come to see him in person, you're missing out because he's one of a kind. I still think after watching the tape, maybe there was a opportunity or two to get to the free throw line in Atlanta that was anyway.
And then Zach, career high 12 rebounds, 6 points, 5 assists. For him to be able to do that on this stage against a Big East team as a freshman.
Yeah, he's been coming. Colin's gotten the minutes because he's deserved them. But Zach his trajectory was there. It was right there, and then he got sick. And we couldn't play him. And then his run-up to getting back on the court was a little bit longer than I'm sure he would have liked. But I trust him. He's a really special player. And I think when you see he and Colin and some of the other guys we have, obviously we're going to miss too. But, man, I think we've got a program that has a bright future.
Darius, if you could speak to, even just from the opening basket, how good did that feel? That must have set the tone for you and your night. If you could speak to your overall performance.
For sure. Anytime you see the ball go in, it gives you a little bit more confidence, a little bit more motivation, especially to go back on the other end and get a stop. So it's always good. We fight really hard to get great shots on the end. So regardless of who shoots the ball, if it goes in, we all get a little self-esteem boost.
Reggie's scrappiness, obviously that's been a defining characteristic of this team. How much was that on display this evening in a game that never really turned into a wide margin for either team?
It's Villanova, but I think having seen us as much as you have, that's part of who we are. We're really invested in the hard little things that lead to winning. And I think any program that's going to have sustainable success is going to have that characteristic in what they do every day. So, but I love our guys get on the floor, they sacrifice. There's a lot of invisible stars on this box sheet or box score that we won't talk about, but I think it's been who we've been for a few years now.
Zach, how much fun was it for you out there tonight going up against a team like Villanova with that pedigree and doing it in postseason?
Yeah, it's really fun. You grow up watching those teams in March Madness and Final Four and all that. So getting to go out there, when we saw their name on the little bracketology thing, it was a good moment. We knew it was going to be fun.
And the haircut, was that just a postseason thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Mayo actually convinced me to do it.
This is for all three of you. Zach coming into it, Darius been doing this for a long time. Coach, the roller coaster of emotions that we all had last week, what is it like in college basketball? I'll start with you, Zach, losing in Atlanta, then kind of waiting and seeing, and then having an experience like tonight and all week building up to playing Villanova. Is that something you've experienced in basketball before? It's well, you're in the lowest of like feels like a good moment. Feels like postseason in college basketball can be kind of wild. Is that kind of new to you?
Yeah, definitely. It is crazy, but I think having a team and coaches like we do, it's easy to stay level-headed, and coaches do a good job of pouring into us and like just keeping us on that steady trajectory.
Darius, was this one of the more emotional postseasons you've been a part of at Liberty in 5 years?
For sure. And I'll echo what Zach said, but it's kind of like life. Like, there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. The only thing you really can control is, like, your pursuit. So I think even in both situations, I don't think our team pursuit has changed. Like, we've always been straightforward, everybody all in, like, full throttle. So I think it's, like, super dope to see it in hindsight.
Super dope. Did you get that? Yeah, I'm of the opinion that we're not going to base the success of our program on the outcome. And we've been really blessed to be in 5 championship games in the last 6 years. That's an accomplishment in itself. And we didn't get a chance to advance to the NCAA tournament. And those of us that have experienced it, the fans included or media representatives, like you miss it. But remember, I said this last year, it's really hard to be grateful for what you feel entitled to, and it's hard to win in college basketball. So I just think the pursuit that our guys continue to have to find the best version of themselves, like that's what I'm most proud of. Like there's young men in that locker room that will impact the world because of who they are as people and the way they can navigate tough terrain or adversity. They're winners in life, and they really, really have an agenda to be a part of something bigger than themselves and to add values to other people's life. So, again, it's hard. Like, I'm really competitive, and it stings when we lose. I hate it. But I'm able to recenter because of my own identity, and hopefully, if it's true, you can never give away what you don't possess. Hopefully, they see that in me and can maybe try and take a small piece of that if it's authentic enough.
Richie, you talk about things that are common to this team, and one of the things that's common is patience. You saw a lot of times there were kind of cool stretches. The ball still moved, still made that extra pass, assisted on 14 to 20 makes. When you look at that, what does that do for this team?
Yeah, I love watching our group. We really trust them as a coaching staff. We don't have to call a lot of plays because they make the right reads. We have solutions to how many different coverages we've seen against Darius. So I love that. We turned it over too many times.
That's me.
I'll take that.
But I do think when we're right offensively, our assist numbers are usually like that, Brian. So I enjoy watching our group play offensively, and it's because of the character that they have.
Darius, I realize this will have an obvious answer, but just to be able to keep playing, I mean, on Thursday, Friday, we're about to see a lot of heartache in the NCAA tournament, and I know you've been through that too, but just to be able to keep playing, how's that motivating you?
I mean, like, as a competitor, it's like you always get up to play games. Like, we practice so much in a year. Coach is always, holding us accountable in his way. So to have another opportunity to go up against somebody else with these group of guys, like, you can't help but be grateful and, like, go out there and give it your all. Like, regardless of who it is, where it's at, what time it is, like, you're supposed to get up for those games.
Yeah, we're off tomorrow, and I told him yesterday, because yesterday was our 98th practice. I said, I want to practice 99 at least. So we'll get that. But I'll say in conclusion, guys, look, like the postseason goes like that. There'll be 52 teams eliminated in the NCAA tournament by Sunday. There'll be 16 eliminated by tomorrow in the NIT. So that's 32 teams left after 6 days or 5 days of competition. To be one of those teams is a privilege. And, well, heck, it'll be less even in the NIT because I think we'll play Saturday or Sunday. So, like, we're going to enjoy this, and we're going to keep trying to get better.